If you're not eating mushrooms, you're missing out on a lot of amazing benefits, not to mention the versatility of mushrooms and delicious recipes you can make like these. Stay tuned. Since I started my holistic health journey about 3 years ago, I've been using more plant based ingredients when I cook. So I've been using a lot of mushrooms, normally like button mushrooms, whether it's the white button ones or the baby bell or the large portobello mushrooms. But I've been using more plant based meat replacement like mushrooms and less meat when I cook. So I've been exploring with mushrooms, and since discovering the amazing health benefits they have, I've been eating mushrooms at least a few times a week. Let's talk about the benefits of mushrooms and why you should incorporate mushrooms in your diet. First things first, not everyone can eat mushrooms. Some people are allergic to mushrooms, like my daughter. Unfortunately, she gets to miss out on all the delicious mushroom recipes that I make. In comparison to meat, mushrooms are lower in cholesterol. They are also a great source of selenium, vitamin D, which a lot of people are deficient in, B12, B6, and they have amazing antioxidant benefits. Mushrooms provide good cognitive support and a good way to help with mood regulation. Has prebiotic benefits, so it is good for immune support as well as gut health. Also, forgot to mention the amount of vitamin D in mushroom depends on what type of mushrooms you're using and also whether they are grown in the shade or in the sun. Research also shows that eating mushroom can be a protective factor against certain forms of cancer, especially when it comes to shiitake, maitake, I think it's pronounced, as well as king oyster. Mushrooms can also help lower your cholesterol levels. So there's so many good reasons why you should incorporate mushrooms in your diet regularly. So, with all these amazing things I've been hearing about different types of mushrooms, and I've even been taking supplements, mushroom supplements like lion's mane, shiitake, turkey tail, and king trumpet. So, I decided to try the chef sampler, which includes the oyster mushrooms, the king trumpet, and the shiitake mushrooms. So my first recipe is inspired by orange chicken. I was craving for orange chicken and I wanted a healthier version of that. So I'm using the king's trumpet mushroom, and I had sliced it in round pieces, and I am making the coating here that I'm going to use to coat it before I bake it. For the seasoning, I'm using liquid aminos, adding some nutritional yeast and some salt. I'm adding also honey as well as some cayenne pepper. And I'm going to go ahead and mix this up, and I'll coat the king trumpet with this seasoning mixed and bake it with some jackfruit so that I have the sweet, savory, spicy orange chicken flavor that I'm craving for. So now that this dressing is ready, I'm going to go ahead and coat each round piece of king trumpet mushroom with it. I started to brush it, but I think it was just easier to just dip it in the sauce, and that's what I ended up doing to save some time. So when all the pieces were coated, I had set aside some jackfruit. So I had enough pieces of jackfruit for each piece of the trumpet, king trumpet mushroom, and I placed it on the jackfruit and then baked it. And then I baked this on 350 for about 15 minutes. When you cook jackfruit, by the way, it gets sweeter. So it has this zesty, sweet, spicy taste. I mean, this is like a perfect replacement for anything that's sweet. Like if you're craving for like a barbecue chicken or barbecue pork or orange chicken or any savory, sweet meaty dish, this will be a replacement for that. By the way, when you bake jackfruit, it caramelizes and it gets a little sweeter. And this dish is so yummy. And I'll show you what I ate it with in a little bit. And that's because part of what I ate it with is this second dish that I'm making with the oyster and shiitake mushrooms. So here I am just sauteing some onions with some tomatoes, garlic, and seasoning. And I'm going to use this sauce to saute the oyster and shiitake mushrooms. Once my veggies and garlic have been added, I go ahead and add in my seasonings. So I go ahead and saute this sauce for about 15 minutes before adding on my chopped up mushrooms. And once again, I'm using the oyster mushrooms along with the shiitake mushroom. And I'm just making like a saute kind of mushroom sauce with this. So in my culture, we make this thing called stew, and stew can be made with any meat of your choice. So that's this recipe with this mushroom is very similar to that. So basically, you add whatever meat you're cooking to this stew, which is the sauteed onions and garlic and all that. So this recipe is inspired by that. Instead of meat, though, I am using mushrooms. And I also like to add turmeric. Turmeric is a great spice to add to your food, especially when you have inflammatory issues. And it also helps detox, and it has amazing antioxidant benefits. So it is great to add on your recipe, especially if it's something that you are sauteing with healthy fats. Once I added the mushrooms, I let it saute for like 5 minutes or so, and then added just a dot of water, let it simmer for about 6, 7 more minutes, and then it was done. And this is the other recipe I made earlier, and this is how I'm eating it. I'm eating it over wild rice, and I'm also putting the sauce on the side as well as on top of the avocado. And this is so delicious. It has such a flavorful taste, savory, it's spicy, it's sweet, so also the healthy fat. So you have all your desired taste in one dish, and it is so super healthy and good for you. So my next recipe is making a creamy mushroom stew using coconut milk, and I'm using portobello mushrooms, and I'm just slicing it in thin enough pieces here. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up some onions. So just a small onions, and I'm gonna go ahead and chop it up into, um, I guess as fine of pieces as possible. I don't like cutting onions, so but the finer the pieces, the better. So just chop it up into small pieces, and then I'll go ahead and start sautéing this with some garlic and other spices. This recipe is very similar to the curry mushrooms that I made probably like almost a year ago, but I am using virgin coconut oil to saute the onions and other spices. So once I add my onions and garlic, I'm going to go ahead and add my seasoning and spices. And another important spice that I like to use here is turmeric once again, because turmeric is great for like joint pain, nerve pain, back pain, which I do struggle with. I do have scoliosis and nerve issues, so it helps me with inflammation, and it's a great source of antioxidants. I'm also adding pink Himalayan salt as well as black pepper. I'm also using a little bit of the bouillon. I saute this for about 15 minutes. I am going to go ahead and add some coconut cream to this. I'm using about a quarter cup of the coconut cream, and I'll also add some water since I'm using coconut cream. And this time I am using, this is a prior video, so it's not the fresh mushrooms that I just cut, which I recently made. But this footage was filmed a few weeks ago, so I use frozen mushrooms for that, but it's the same portobello mushrooms. And here I am adding in my chili pepper, and I'm gonna go ahead and cook this for about 10 more minutes on like medium low. And about 5 minutes before it's done, I'm added in my cilantro. Cilantro is also a good herb, especially when it comes to detoxifying the body. It's good for liver health as well as other benefits. And once this is done, I am eating it with quinoa, and this is multicolor quinoa, as well as some salad. I also love to eat this mushroom gravy or mushroom stew with this amazing yellow rice with beans. This is so delicious. By the way, this is on my TikTok. But speaking of which, make sure you check out my TikTok and follow me on that. I have some amazing recipes. So the second time I made this, I ate it with this yellow rice with beans, as well as some jicama salad. And this jicama salad is consists of jicama, mangoes, and tamarind sauce. And I also have some avocado on the side. It is so nutritious, so filling, and so amazingly tasty. So these are some of the recipes, just a few of my favorite recipes that I make using mushrooms. If you want more mushroom videos or mushroom recipes, make sure you do check out my other videos as well as my TikTok. I have some amazing recipes using mushrooms. Anyway, this wraps it up for this video. I hope you appreciate this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a like. Also, if you're elevating into becoming a healthier version of yourself and you want to do it holistically and naturally, make sure you do subscribe to my channel and hit the post notification button so you'll be notified every time I post a video. I thank you for your time. I hope you have a blessed day, evening, night, wherever you are, and I hope to catch you on my next video.